The U.S. Department of Labor estimates that a bad cost can cost up to, any guess, what percentage?
I'm going to say at least, 60%?
30%.
That's still pretty
30%
high.
of the employee's first year earnings, which is pretty high. So
Okay.
it's $100,000.
Yeah, because I was
hire,
like, we're not
that's
just
pretty significant. The total cost of a bad hire is typically about 40% of the individual's salaries. Welcome to the Bullpen podcast hosted by Torian Consulting. I'm Sonia Pedowick.
I'm Bobby Watkins.
I'm Misty Rodriguez.
Each week we'll be bringing you different episodes about fintech and talent.
It's going to be exciting to be able to talk about these topics in depth, to be able to bring you guests, to be able to dive into topics on recruiting, mental health, the job market, new technologies, and of course, everything happening in our beloved city of Las Vegas.
Do you want a job or not?
Let's grab the bull by the horns. Welcome back to the Bullpen. I'm your host, Sonia Pedowick, with my co-host,
Misty Rodriguez.
Today we are going to talk about the cost of a bad hire.
Oh, I love this
I
one.
know, right? I had some statistics actually.
Do you?
I
I
do.
figure you would because you see the numbers more than I do.
Um,
I'm out here just be like trying to, make it work.
People don't think that there are really hard costs to this, but there are.
Oh,
So the U.S. Department of Labor estimates that a bad cost can cost up to,
oh,
any
no.
guess, what percentage?
I'm gonna say at least 60%.
30%.
That's still pretty
30%
high.
of the employee's first year earnings, which is pretty high. So
Okay.
it's $100,000.
Yeah, because I was
hire,
like, we're not
30%, that's
just
pretty significant. The total cost of a bad hire is typically about 40% of the individual's salaries. That's what SHRM estimates. So the Department of Labor is a little different than SHRM, the Society of Information Resource Managers,
That's
right?
fair.
Career Builder estimates the average cost of a bad hire is around $17,000. But SHRM also says that the average recruiting cost per hire is about $4,000. I don't know.
I
That's
think it's
kinda-
more than that.
I
I
do
like
think it's more
the
than that,
first one
so.
because at the end
They're
of the
probably
day,
thinking like internal costs. I think that's pretty low, though.
well, think about it. Like,
Yeah.
okay, let's just say hypothetically, if you're using
Yeah.
agency, right? You pay the fees, of
Right.
course, right? Because it's
But only
never,
if you hire.
yeah. And we don't expect it like out of your pocket right away. It's just not how it works. But
Yeah. According to Department of Labor, a bad hire can cost you up to 30% of the employee's first year salary, but some human resource agencies estimate the cost to be higher, ranging from $240,000 to $850,000 per employee. That's pretty significant.
well,
But
are they
why is
calculating
that?
the insurance, like all those different things? Because if you're bringing on somebody full time, you had to go through the process because
Right.
there's labor involved
Right,
with that.
right.
I don't think people calculate for the fact that you pay your recruiters or your HR team
Right.
to find these people, the
Yes.
postings. If you hire like an outside third party to help, and then
Yes.
you've got, you know what I mean, like all these different things that nobody's
Yeah.
factoring in. So which could lead to another podcast, by the way, the ghosting.
Right. But if
It
you're just talking
becomes-
about the bad, so recruiting, onboarding, training, development for bad, loss of productivity, errors in quality, negative impact on team morale, further damage
Yeah.
like negative impact on client relations, legal issues. Let's say say you hire like a cancer and it becomes like harassment issues or discrimination,
Yep.
turnover costs, all those things can be an
That
impact.
happened.
huh?
Not me, like at working for a corporate company,
Right.
and I had to call all these people on my first day and tell them they no longer had an offer. But to be fair, it was right as soon as COVID hit,
Right.
so it was like a whole
So they're
thing.
not on there.
But the things I heard
Yeah.
that were beyond my control, first of all,
Right.
as soon as it crossed that legal, if you threaten me in any
Right.
way, I had to cut
Yeah.
here you go, here's the number for legal.
Yeah. It can be
You
very
know, so
frustrating.
then you got to pay a lawyer.
Yeah. So then, and time,
Like-
right? And then people don't account if I'm working at a company and then the bad hire and now I'm stressed, I have anxiety, loss of my productivity, and then am I
Yeah.
distracting other people? Cost of productivity, can you really measure that? Can you really figure that out?
Well, as you're a CEO, you know what it's like. I mean,
yeah.
we not test out people, but if something happens,
sure.
whatever, it's like it's
Distractions, I
still.
think, are the biggest cost of
Oh yeah.
loss of work, right?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah. So,
Oof,
how
that's
to
a tough one.
avoid that if you really have a good hiring process and
Mm-hmm.
vetting and really kind of maybe push that onto a hiring partner and really
Yeah.
work with them through a process that helps you screen out as many of the wrong possible candidates to get to, kiss all the frogs first and narrow it down.
We're sorry about that.
To as many possible princes or princesses that could be the possible fit for you, can eliminate that too. And there's lots of ways that I think managers don't take advantage of. It's, let's just send out a job description to an agency and just throw it out to the community and just hope we get a bunch of resumes. That's super frustrating, right? Because,
absolutely.
Anyone and everyone can see that posting online and hope, we'll just send a bunch of resumes and hope they stick. But it's kind of what's in between, what is this person going to work on? How are they going to fit into the team? What hasn't worked? Why is this position open to begin with? What are you hoping to cultivate and grow with this person over time? There's so many things in between that help us get to the right person and avoid, And it's interesting too, because there have been, in the 10 years that this company will be open, there have been times where, I'll talk to a manager and be like, we can really help you fill a position. And the manager's, my leadership won't let me do it. And I'll talk to them again. And they're like, I found someone. And who'd you find? And they're like, I can't to say yet. And I have in my head who I think they hire because I know what's going on in the market. I know who's become available.
That's part of our role.
Sure, you don't want to let me know, and I can give you some inside scoop or, give you some background. And sure enough, they hire someone, and I know that person's been fired, or I know why that person is in the market. And I'm
That's
like,
my favorite.
I wish you would have just talked to me, because, then the person starts, and even a month later, it's like they're regretting that hire. And I'm like, why didn't you just talk to me? Like, I could have helped you. I could have given you maybe some advice. I don't want to block someone from getting a job. That's not my intention. But, on the other hand,
A resource. I mean, we're here to help you on both sides of the house.
Is your company doing reference checks? Are you running a background check? Are you doing some things just to avoid a bad hire? And a lot of times, the manager's like, I don't know if my HR department did a background check, or I don't know if they did reference checks. And I'm like, oh my God.
I think reference checks are definitely important because you just don't know. I mean, and sure, they can give you the references they want, to give you.
Yeah.
However, I think there's one thing that a lot of people don't know is because our community is small,
right?
We all somehow know each other.
Right.
So if your name pops up in a conversation, like wherever, it's not that we're talking about you. It's just more like it came up in conversation. It's like, oh, hey, Joe over there at whatchamacallit just got hired at blah, blah, blah.
Joe
and it's like
gets a bad rap, doesn't Joe? Isn't that weird? Joe's name.
I was going to say Bob, because Bob also gets bad rap. It's like,
right. Or even, just, hey, I know you're going to hire on your own. That's fine. Here's some questions that you can ask. Here's some situational questions. I don't care what pool you're going to go through. Most managers don't know how to. We sit in on a lot of interviews.
I think that is a pandemic in itself.
Yes.
You have managers, no offense, I'm not trying to point fingers.
We are talking to you, though.
Yeah, where you have put managers in place that don't have any background in managing people, resources, and, hallelujah, you want to save $1. I'm all for that in this economy, but like,
no, they don't know how to ask situational questions.
Yeah, like
here's a situation that
or how to stay in the the compliance kind of thing. There's a reason why we have compliance.
Right. Yeah. You can't ask that question, like legally.
Even in a casual conversation, you cannot ask those questions.
No. Yeah.
I'm sorry. We should do one on that too, by the way. Here's some questions you can't ask.
We have a lot of managers let us sit in on the background. We're screens off. We're just listening because we're learning about the technology. We're learning about the environment.
How it fits in.
We're like, what did they just ask? Or why not ask more? Or even they'll ask our candidate a question, and then I'm not even sure they're listening because I would have asked a follow-up on my own candidate.
Yeah.
Like, ask more. Don't you want to know more? Well, what else? How else would you have done that? And, it seemed like you led that project. Tell me how you led that project. What was your biggest success from that? Yeah, give me some insight into, were all the stakeholders on board for that? Did you have a difficult stakeholder that didn't want to play nice in the sandbox? How did you? Because everyone has those in their environment.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I'm like, ask these questions because I want my candidate, if you're going to hire them, I want them to be successful.
Yeah.
I want them to stick. I want you to know that you
vetted them well.
That you vetted them well. And
that's what we do.
Right. And that if you are going to hire them and you thought they could do this, but what if they could do this? They're going to make you look even better.
Well, and I think the other thing that's not to trail off on that has changed is the interviewing process.
Oh my gosh.
What has happened to a real interview process? In a half an hour on a Teams meeting, really?
Where nobody's on camera?
Yeah. What happened to that?
That's
you
so
belong
crazy.
on camera. Don't get me wrong. My hair's not always done every day.
No.
Today it's looking fluffy. But I'm going to be on, I'm on camera.
Yes.
But
that blows my mind that clients who interview our candidates, they might be 5 of them from the client. Our candidate is expected to be on camera.
Dressed. Don't forget dressed. You better camera up, or what is it, head up?
And none of you clients have your cameras on. You know how intimidating that is?
That's why I drop off sometimes because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let this go because there's 30 of you.
That is. It's so crazy to me.
Well, and the other thing is firing off questions. When you're not part of that management team, I understand you want to bring your team into the conversation, but I feel like that's a second in meeting, like in-person meeting. And we're having this conversation as a team.
Right.
The managers are all here because you can also gauge their faces. You know what I mean? Like
you're answering the question as a candidate and you have no body language. You have no reaffirming way of knowing.
I get frustrated with that. What happened to
blows my
proper interviews? You cannot have a technical, I think, question, like an interview in a half an hour. That should be a 1 hour. Okay, maybe the first one if you're doing culture. Then you bring them in. And I'm sorry, I know a lot of you out there hate having that tech.
Right.
But it's our job and their job to make sure that you're vetted correctly because the cost of a bad hire is an extreme one. It's extreme.
And the time, your time is valuable.
What is happening?
Your time is so much better put to use training effectively the new hire that is going to sustain and do well.
But then that's also, I think they're showing the companies that they're not investing in their management.
No.
It's getting to the point where it's, oh my gosh, my head is spinning because I'm like, please don't ask me to help you.
I would spend that time teaching managers how to do that all day long if that was a value add to them because sometimes I'm like, what did he just ask?
Or just even...
Or they're not even on camera appropriately.
Yeah, it's over here. It's a side view.
You're like, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself if they're on camera. And you're like,
where are you? Or it's just halfway. You're like down here with the... Hey, Jim, can you turn your camera a little bit? I don't want to be that guy, but I will.
So crazy to me.
But it's true. And I sit there and I'm like...
Yeah. Sometimes
I can't
when
blame
we
the
do
candidate
intake
pool.
calls with our clients, we're meeting a client for the first time, taking the job order, and I'm the only one on camera.
Okay, I admit I have done that where I leave her
home one day, and I get that.
I still try to dress at least from here up. You know what I mean?
And Chelsea sometimes she works from home because she has a little one still at home. Okay, I get that. And if I'm at home with my dog, he's worse. He's very distracting.
The bun way up here kind of thing.
I'll have
like,
the camera
hi.
off, but come on. I want to know who you are. I want to be able to tell my candidate who you are.
If I see you in public, I want to say hi to you. Yeah. What is it? The one we did last Thursday, it was you. And I was just, before you logged in, we were chit-chatting. My cat walks by the camera. And he literally says, is that your cat?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, he's a pain in the...
Those are fun. That shows who your personality is.
He laughed. I was like, yeah, he's there. Well, and then before that, he was like, bonjour, really?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm manifesting. This is what I want to do in a couple of years. I want to go to Paris. I know. I hear you out there.
But there's so many things to help avoid that is just getting through that. Can we see each other working together? Can we communicate? Can I trust putting this person in front of the business, interacting with the end user, all of these nuances, even in a virtual interview situation, if you're not going to spend the time to learn how to do that as a leader, manager, and then you're going to hire someone and expect them to interact virtually, what are you doing?
I think it's common courtesy has gone out the door. I think really since post-COVID, because we can attest to pre-COVID, we had strong relationships. We had, we were, rocking left and right. It was not even, it was just smooth in every aspect.
Yeah.
I knew where to show up if you couldn't make it. And now it's, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
So
I know what we're doing.
Right.
Where are you? You know, the rest, like where, oh my gosh, yeah, don't get me started.
I know.
So then this is why I know candidates, they yell at us and I'm like, oh no, you have no idea what we're up against too.
Right.
We have both, you know, hiring managers, candidates, the rest of the world out there. And it's
very
like,
interesting.
don't come at me. I'm like, I'm just trying to.
So I think managers could do a little bit, companies could do a little bit better if they don't want to see that revenue lost through the hiring process. There definitely could be a lot more clarity from the time they post the job to the time they do the interview, and even through the onboarding process. There's probably a lot of attrition that they're experiencing just because on them, because they haven't properly vetted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, the candidate probably thoroughly. And I see a lot of candidate clients too. They talk 90% of the interview. And I'm like, did you even ask any questions?
Or to give them the option to ask a couple questions, you know, like that back and forth.
Yeah.
It should be a conversation.
Right. 100%.
And it's become this weird, get off Zoom.
Yeah.
Get off Teams.
Yeah. It's dating. You're dating.
Yeah. And it's courtship.
Yeah.
Really.
It's 100%.
I mean, but I think somewhere along the way, something went wrong.
Yeah.
And we need to bring it back. Bring back
100%.
that beauty of the relationship, because it's like,
yeah,
what are we doing? You're exhausting me. And I'm like, man.
Sometimes we know if it's like super awkward on both parts, we're like, they're going to love each other. And then other times we're like, oh my God, this interview could not end soon enough because this is not going well.
Our heads
are down. And then
they
keep going.
I'm like, my head is down because I'm like,
our candidates, I got one more question. And we're like, oh my God, you are not getting this.
I said 3.
Yeah.
That's all you get. Calm down. You know what I mean? Please I had one. Okay. Speak really quick, and I think I do know where it went wrong. Like we you catch on, you know, we've been doing this a long time. I know when that, and there are surprises where we're not, it turns out great. But his camera, he was on camera. The hiring manager had great lighting in the back. You know what I mean? Like you could see her perfectly, every inch of the room. But his was dim and dark. And one time I actually corrected somebody on that, and I got my hand slapped by the hiring manager. And I was like, it's my job to make sure that you can see this person on camera if we're going to do camera.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody's hiding anymore. And I'm like, stop hiding.
Yeah.
We live in this world together.
Right.
So I think that's where it went wrong. And I'm like, making my head spin.
Yeah.
In every direction.
Yeah.
That's why we have chocolate. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And alcohol. And
well, we are here. We want to help you not lose that 30%, or on the high end, it was like something like 70%, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want to help you save and not make those bad hires. If we can support you in any way, you certainly can find us at torianconsulting.net. All of the information is in the show notes. Misty here will certainly help you on the candidate side as well as some account management, and you can reach out to me as well. Check us out on future episodes of The Bullpen. Thank you for joining us in The Bullpen, hosted by TCG. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to share it with someone who you think might benefit. Also, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on our next episode. Do you want a job or not?